Okay, so let's dive into this really fascinating puzzle that's unfolding around the college football playoff championship. On the surface, it seems like everyone is betting one way, but the money line, the odds themselves, well, they're telling a completely different story. Let's break this whole thing down. So here's the thing, almost everybody, we're talking the public, is just throwing their money on the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers. But, and this is the weird part, at the exact same time, the sports books are actually making it easier and more profitable to bet on the underdog, Miami. It's a total head-scratcher, right? I mean, those two things just don't seem to add up at all.
And yeah, this is the absolute core of the mystery. If all this cash is just flooding in for Indiana, why on earth would the betting line move to make it more appealing to bet on their opponent? It's literally the opposite of what you'd expect. So what's really going on here?
Let's actually track the journey of this point spread, because it tells a story. It started with Indiana favored by 5.5 points. Then, after their massive semifinal win, public money just poured in, pushing that line up to 7.5 and then all the way up to 8.5. It really looked like a one-way street, but then it just stopped, and it actually started moving back the other way. So why?
And this shift, it happened at a very, very specific time. It wasn't because of an injury or some big news story breaking. Nope. It was Sunday, around 3 p.m. Eastern. And that's when a new, much more powerful force entered the market and started pushing back hard against that huge wave of public money.
And the answer to our puzzle has a name: sharp money. Now, this is not your cousin betting 20 bucks on the game. We are talking about professional, highly respected gamblers. When these people place a bet, it's so large and their track record is so good that sportsbooks have no choice but to listen, and they will adjust the entire market because of it.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. A bookmaker over at Caesars, Joey Faisal, he confirmed it. He basically said that a huge surge of sharper money is exactly why that line shifted. The pros were just waiting. They saw that line hit 8.5 points and they pounced, betting big on Miami.
Okay, so now we know who moved the line. The next big question is why? Why are these professionals, the people who do this for a living, betting against a team that looks absolutely unbeatable to the rest of us? What kind of secret insight do they have?
You know, this quote from another bookmaker, John Murray, perfectly explains the pro mindset. He points out that for most of this year, Miami might have actually been the favorite in this game. The sharps see the public getting all swept up in the emotion of Indiana's one big semifinal win. They believe that emotion has created a bloated, inflated line, and for them, that's a golden opportunity.
And to really understand the stakes here, you have to know just how incredible it is that these two teams are even in this game. This whole pro versus public showdown gets even crazier when you look at their backstories. We're not just talking about one underdog, this is a matchup of impossible long shots. Just let this number sink in for a second. 200 to 1. Those were Indiana's odds to win the whole thing at the start of the season. A bet on them wasn't just a long shot, it was considered a complete fantasy. I mean, absolutely nobody saw this coming. And Miami was right there with them. Just before the playoff field was even announced, the Hurricanes were sitting at 100 to 1. They were seen as a fringe team, basically lucky to even be in the conversation. To put all this into perspective, if Indiana actually wins, it will be the single biggest preseason long shot to win a championship in over 20 years. Think about that for a second. We are literally witnessing one of the most improbable runs in modern sports history. They have shattered every single expectation. So you have all this history, all this money, these completely insane odds, and it is all colliding in a championship game with unprecedented stakes. And the final piece of the puzzle? The location. Seriously, you could not write a better script. The underdog, Miami, is playing the championship game on their home field. The amount of money being bet on this thing is rivaling the Super Bowl. And get this, for one local sportsbook, a Miami win would trigger the biggest single payout to bettors in the company's entire history. An executive from Hard Rock Bets summed it up perfectly. He called it a perfect storm. You have this incredible underdog story, the championship on the line, and a passionate local fan base, all packed into their home stadium. The atmosphere is going to be absolutely electric. And here's what those odds actually mean for your wallet. That plus 260 for Miami, a $100 bet wins you 260 bucks. But for Indiana, at minus 325, you have to bet a massive $325 just to win 100. Now you can really see why the pros, who are all about finding that value, jumped all over Miami.
So this is what it all boils down to. A classic showdown between the pros and the public. Will the sheer volume of public belief in this undefeated favorite be proven right? Or will the calculated, logical bets from the sharps show that the smart money was on the underdog all along? It is a fascinating mystery, and the final chapter is going to be written on Monday night.